Hi Taurus, welcome to your love reading for December 2019. It's Rena here. So I'm back to using a deck that I recently purchased called the Ethereal Visions deck. And I think this is kind of fun for love readings because there's a romantic kind of a pattern. This is the back of the cards. I know some people love to see the backs of the cards. I just enjoy it so much when there's like an ornate pattern or just a beautiful pattern. Okay, so this is the second reading that I'm doing with these cards since I got them. And they have a good feel in my hand too, which I like. So anyway, this is going to be, I'm going to do a little bit different, I think. This is on the fly. I've just decided as I've been shuffling that I'm going to have a simple 4-card spread. The card in the middle will be the state of your love life. So whether you're single, whether you're in a relationship, and by the way, if you're in a relationship and your relationship is awesome, this isn't really the reading for you. This is for people who are having problems in their relationship and maybe they're looking for some kind of a sign of, you know, what to do. So the first card is going to be the state of your relationship, and then, you know, how it got this way. What you can do about it, and the outcome. I think that's kind of a good way of handling it. And I'm going to just, like, I'm not going to pick additional cards no matter what that final card is. I'm going to just try to deal with it. It's funny because, oh wow, you know what? Oh boy, it just would stand to reason that I would get the additional card. Actually, in the Major Arcana, there are 22 cards. In this deck, they have an additional card. I'm going to have to look that up because I don't know. This is specific to this deck. It's the Artist. Isn't that cool? Number 23. So, this is, you know, the Artist trying to look. So I'm going to, I admit, since this is only the second time I've used this, I have to tell you, see, look at this. It says the Artist. Astrological correspondence. I can't. Maybe some of you know what this is. The Artist is the vessel of creation. This card signifies mankind and shows when you need to open to the knowledge that is available if you stop and set aside the distractions of the human condition and listen. In the upright position, this means being a visionary, interpreter, creation, and passionate. That's pretty, to me that's kind of obscure actually, but basically Taurus is more down to earth and you're more interested in the nuts and bolts of a situation. You're an earth sign, so being a visionary is something that may be a challenge for some of you to do, especially in relationships. I think that this is about seeing beyond the here and now, what you've experienced in the past. In other words, if you're looking for love, not to just settle for a narrow kind of a view for what it is that you're looking for. Maybe you are growing and you need that to kind of, you need a person to share that with you. If you have felt that you have gone on a bit of a spiritual journey, Uranus is in the sign of Taurus, and so within whenever this is, I think it'll probably be about 7 years from now, when you look back on this period, this initial period of 2019 when Uranus went into Taurus for good, in other words, not going back into Aries, I think that in 2025 or 2026, if that's how long the transit lasts or whatever it is, that you'll look back and you'll see that this was the period of initial growth and transformation. usually we think of Pluto as a planet of transformation, but Uranus can also provide that influence that changes you, but maybe not in a way that you expect. Like it can be the raising of the Kundalini, especially, but it can also be turning into some weird direction that you would have never guessed. And I actually love that. I'm Taurus rising, so I welcome that. But some people may be like, oh gosh, I don't know how this influence is going to affect me. The best way to handle it is just to be open to it. And that means being open to others who you typically may not think is your type. If you're used to being attracted physically to a certain type of person, being ruled by Venus, you may be like very into somebody's physical appearance, and you need to kind of set that aside, perhaps, especially if you've had a pattern of unsatisfactory relationships, and focus more on their mind, focus more on their spiritual development. If they have gotten, if they seem to have a certain level of spiritual development, rather than just sticking to the typical type of relationship that is, based on more materialistic concerns. Not to say you're being that way, but I think sometimes people focus on relationships in practical ways. Like, how is this person going to enhance my life on a material level, on a practical level, and tangible. Yeah, I think that was the word I was looking for. But there's more than that. There's also that inspiration that you get from another person. Maybe you're going to be with somebody who's artistic, and that is going to be so, yeah, you're ruled by Venus, you may be artistic too, but there might be that kind of a complementary individual where you are, more of the grounded one, and they are more like a Pisces type of person who's very otherworldly, and they're very imaginative, and they kind of complement you in a good way. Because, well, actually, complimenting somebody, I'm not talking about, saying nice things about them. It's E, not I. Compliment means that it's almost like complement. It's like they provide you with something that you are lacking, and vice versa. You give them something that they're lacking. And so you both feel that sense of where, like you're unified because you have something to offer the other. And how you got here. King of Cups. Some of you may have gone through therapy where you have kind of discovered what you need in life, or the equivalent. You've gone to kind of a spiritual healer or something like that, or talked to your minister about your relationships, especially if you've been divorced. The other thing too with the King of Cups is that you may have met somebody who is like I said, a water sign like Pisces, and this person's mature. The king is mature emotionally, and they are able to nourish you. Water nourishes, kind of moistens the earth. And, the earth by itself, if it isn't moistened, it's very dry. So it lacks that kind of juiciness in life. And just like the earth can absorb excess water, water signs tend to be emotional. And this can mean that you are helping them to become more detached. And that's a good thing too. And when I talk about signs, it may not be that person's sun sign, but they have that signature of having an emotional nature, a nurturing nature. The advice is the Six of Swords. And if you are currently in a relationship with somebody where it's unhappy, and perhaps either you've gone through therapy to talk about this, or you have met somebody who represents the King of Cups, this card is suggesting that, yes, your current relationship isn't satisfactory and you do need to move away from that situation. The other thing, too, with the Six of Swords, it can be maybe you have to relocate to be next to this to be near this King of Cups. Another possibility is that if you're looking for somebody who represents this sensitive nature, maybe if you were already thinking about relocating, this is your, what do you call it, your message, or your, gosh, why can't I think properly right now? This is your sign. That maybe if you have been thinking of just relocating in general, that this is where you might meet this King of Swords individual. And that's going to lead you to your soulmate, the type of person that you need to be with. And the outcome is the Page of Pentacles. So this is a card, you see the gilded kind of little flourishes there? I love that. This is a card of a message, and it can be like a material message, being pentacles, like your earth sign is a pentacles. Perhaps you will get some kind of indication, some kind of message that this could even be like in terms of if there's a job that you've been applying to, and that job, they tell you you've gotten the job and you have to move, and that's kind of going along with those upper cards. It could just be a message that is a very grounded message where it's very straightforward. There's no kind of need to interpret it or anything like that, and you kind of get this, you get this clear message that this is where you're going to deal with this person. Also, Page of Pentacles, beginning a relationship or in the early stages of a relationship. With Pentacles, it's a very grounded relationship. Even if it is with somebody who is a visionary and artist, there's a sense that it has some kind of substance to it. That's the best way I can put it. And that's something that you would like. But, you know, if it is with somebody who's artistic, you get the best of both worlds. You know, you get that sense that it's going to last, and you get the sense that it's something that it's inspirational. By the way, I mean, in December, and I hope I didn't say November, I hope I said December, there's going to be a what do you call it? A solar eclipse in Capricorn, and Capricorn is an earth sign just like you, and that could be an indication of some kind of new beginning. And this will happen to be in your 9th house, I mean, in general, I would say. And the interesting thing about that, I mean, for some people it might be in the 8th house, but what's so interesting about this is that with the Six of Swords, if you're traveling far away, like on a vacation, you know, certainly in December, people may be traveling. If you were born in a different country, maybe you're going back to that country, and that might be, you know, where this relationship originates. Or if just on some kind of vacation or what have you. Kind of like how Stella got her groove back, right? I don't know. But anyway, Taurus, that's what I have for you. I hope that this was interesting at the very least, and kind of fun with these new cards. And if you'd like a private reading, the link to my website is in the description box. Have a great month. Take care. Bye.